And we're live. Hello, Felipe. Let's get you off of mute. Welcome, everyone, to today's Ask the Expert. And we're live. Hello. Hi, Felipe.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Sorry for some of those that are not in the Pacific. We have a blessed time at Knowledge 19. A lot of things that are new included up to the system. We covered in the previous session a lot of details that you can work with, but we didn't quite much practice on it. So this session will be just to enhance certain things that people have been in close to, or they have been asking to move on once we work with the system. Basically, people, it's always telling us, why don't we create a separate training for CMDB? Why don't we include CMDB as a separate service portal website so the configuration management administrator or manager inside the process can control all the details inside? Basically, we are going to do a big review, a big overview of what we checked on the previous session really quick. Then we start jumping with the CI class manager. We are going to see some other details that we didn't cover in the previous session. We are going to work with the CMDB query builder. And then finally, I'm going to show you that we can create some kind of portals, joining information and joining all those needs that you can include from CMDB, right? So as I'm always telling, CMDB is a hot topic for everybody. It's not quite easy, and I'm going to give to all of you kind of some experience here that you can include, all right? So one of the things is that for everybody, right, for everybody, we have been enclosed to giving you a possibility, and it's a new chance that you can get it. I'm going to share that inside the link, and I'm going to show it for you. That will be inside the structure of the chat. So please, if somebody needs something related to CMDB, we have been launching the CMDB for Dummies, all right? So basically, you go throughout, you fill the form, and with this, you will have the chance to download the guide, all right? It's a really cool book. It's 50 pages PDF form. We have discussed in this book with some of our experts, and is a book that is already shared inside the ServiceNow community. So please download it, and this will help you a lot on many things that you can work with CMDB, all right? Last time we were discussing CMDB basics, back to topics. And one of the topics is how you can relate CMDB with many other things or many other scenarios that you can work inside ServiceNow. Some people, they do prefer to work with ServiceNow features such as discovery, service mapping, or other structures, or even they have the possibility to make integrations, right? Like a third-party integration related to the CMDB. However, if maybe this is not your way of doing it, because we are not going to disclose, or we are not going to start working with discovery, asset management, service mapping, or any other feature that ServiceNow has, we are going to go strictly to CMDB basics, all right? However, CMDB is not only a big module or a big part of the system, is not a core table only. It reflects that it works on the operational applications and transactions of the system. So basically, CMDB gives dependencies to things related to the project portfolio, because if you didn't include all the infrastructure, the project portfolio can be restricted due to the services that you offer with that technology. Also, your government risk and compliance can be compromised due to the way in government that you are giving to the policies and to the infrastructure that you are controlling. The cost effectiveness or finance management could be affected if you are not including the way that the CMDB should work, look like, infrastructure control, and identifying all the needs, or even the profit that goes once you are using your elements inside infrastructure. Like, I'm giving you an example. For just a case, some companies, and we watch this at Knowledge, some companies, they want to identify how long they use a server and how much time it takes to deprecate a server and make an upgrade if needed. Like, I have a 2008 server, Windows server, and I would like to jump into Windows 2012 or 2016, or I would like to go to the cloud, Sure. So basically, in the IT costs related to CMDB, this is one of the things that you can do, and you can start creating reports, database views, and some other kind of things that you can join and you can apply for this benefit, right? Also, you can apply performance analytics, going through the KPIs and benchmarks. And one of the things is to identify related vendor performance. Meaning vendor means that you have infrastructure that maybe you need a vendor to provide this, or a vendor that is related to that infrastructure that you have through. And these vendors or these manufacturers or anybody that is related to the CMDB will take part on configuration side or configuration management. So CMDB is everywhere, right? CMDB is not only related to the ITSM world. We already worked in the previous session, part 1, that CMDB covers most all the ITSM tasks that we have. It works with incident once we have disruptions, works with change once we need to identify, move, apply, interact, or modify certain controls or certain scenarios where you need to configure, make backups, or change the technology. It works in service catalog because you need to apply if you need to request a new element or any device or any infrastructure element part that belongs to the infrastructure data center or kind of the business value of the company for the core operation. Then you have others like problem and some other kind of features that we are not going to mention because there are a lot. But basically, if you see, CMDB is one of the most important, and that's why we talk about that this CMDB goes as a hot topic, right? So basically, once we talk about ServiceNow portfolio applied up to any of the scenarios that we have, and here as we show you, basically one of the things is that CMDB comes to any kind of operation depending on the needs, right? Another thing that I would like to involve here is, this is from Pink. However, some of you might notice that ITIL has changed a little bit, and now we don't call them cycles, we call them processes, right? ITIL before has come to process. But related to the structure, and that's what I was telling you at the beginning of this webcast, why don't we change the view that we always do, and we always go for the system scenario inside, and we always go to the platform itself, right? Why don't we go and we change a little bit and we go and create a portal, right? So we can create a portal as well for any business or services that we need to include upon CMDB, right? The main idea of this webcast is to show you how you can create, how you can modify, how you can add elements, or how you can work with the information that you have inside the platform, and you can bring it up here to your system as an area, right? I'm going to show you how we are going to create a simple page, because we are going to do it. Simple page including the CMDB query builder, some data and some information that we can jump into the system, right? So basically that's what we are going to do. And one of the other things is to show you the feature of the CMDB query builder that maybe some of you are not quite related to the CMDB query builder. And basically the main idea is to give you that chance that you can go through and you can jump inside the CMDB query builder to work out and relate all the needs that you have involved for configuration management, all right? There will be some topics that I'm going to cover, and I'm going to give you the chance to go through, right, inside. And there will be some links that I'm going to start posting around inside the chat. If you have any questions, go inside the chat and ask the questions, all right? You don't need to worry about it. Any questions related to CMDB or any topics that you would like to, we can involve or we can place up to inside this Ask the Expert sessions, let us know and we can try to pull them up and provide you with more feedback around, all right? If you would like to talk about incident, problem, change service portal, advanced widgets, scripting, or any other type of classes or sessions, we are more than welcome. We are arms wide open to help you with, right? So basically, we are going to jump into a process not related to the platform. However, one of the things that I would like to do, as I was telling you at the beginning, is going to make an overview, or it's making an overview once again of on what we discussed on part one. One of the most important things that we worked in part one was to identify that the CIs, or configuration management elements that we have inside, should be displayed depending on the needs. Some customers, they decide that discovery will be the best way, or will be the best feed to just place those elements around the system. However, we need to classify and we need to identify which will be my support team or escalation team that is going to work with the element inside. That's why we plan to show you this inside here, right? So basically, how do we control, or how we can control the CMDB? Basically, once we work with a configuration management system, sometimes we need to create, or we need to process maybe a little bit of an advanced portal, or a basic portal related to the needs of the company, right? In this portal, basically, we can include record producers, such as we can create changes in records, incident, problem, change, and some other views, right? We can create an asset management comparison, or even relation that can give you the details around that financial profit that you're working through. Remember that in the previous slide, we were talking about how CMDB relates with all the big overview and the big screen of some other features around ITBM, around government risk and compliance, or security operations, and some other features that you can work with, right? Even some people is asking me, all right, if we talk about CMDB, can we relate, for example, CMDB for customer service management or human resources? Yes, absolutely. It depends on the needs. For example, if we are talking about human resources and this employee or this new hire person that comes to the company needs elements, or will belong on a part of a support group, or kind of an expertise related to workout or touch infrastructure inside our company, basically this person belongs to the CMDB as well, right? Why? Because they need to have information, they need to have knowledge, they need to have experience. And some of this will be that they can search, browse, store, retrieve, update, publish, subscribe, and collaborate. With these terms, I know all of you are familiar with. For example, if we search, we need to verify that we can search and we can create knowledge bases, right? Sometimes we always talk and we always see certain information models here. And once we check, for example, the CI class manager, we identify that we have some classes, right? Some tables. Basically, one of the biggest tables that we have is the CMDB as a table. And then we have some extended tables, right? Basically, one of the things that we have before we continue moving here, and I'm going to show you this way, is if you go and search, for example, if you go and search, just basically, if you go and do a search for here for CMDB, and you start searching all the CMDB tables, check that even 30 or more than the 30% of the tables that we have in ServiceNow are based, included up to CMDB, right? So 30 up to 40% of our configuration inside ServiceNow out of the box belongs to the CMDB, belongs to configuration management. How we can control this, or how we can process this, it's related to the way that we can connect each other. Remember that we have two baseline tables that will be the relationship CIs that we can give to connect each device or each configuration item that we have been placed on, and verify that the classes could be related upon needs, right? How we connect, how we host, how we power on, how we transfer in, how we, for example, virtualize or hypervise, or how we make surveillance, or how we can control, how we monitor, or how we transfer information, right? And the other one will be basically, we just take out this, will be the configuration items, right? Since configuration item is one of the base tables that we have through, this table is already extended from CMDB and extends the all the way classes that we have there, right? So if we go to CI class manager once again, and we start watching through, sometimes people is like, all right, how we can create our classification, or how we can modify, or how we can make the best profit on it. Basically, one of the things is to identify this first pattern, right? check the portal, check what will be the information that you are going to include, all right? However, if you are creating a class, if you are creating infrastructure on it, and basically if we talk about it, how we are going to make the relation upon ITSM, basically incident, problem, change, configuration, or any other one that we are going to include it, this element that they are offering through the service catalog, or you are including as a field or even as a reference field inside a form from any ITSM module, basically you need to give information around that element. And once we always do is we give kind of knowledge articles, right? So first thing that we can offer and we need to start offering inside that portal is that we can offer to search and browse information related to those CIs, right? So one of the cool things that now we have on Madrid, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know how many of you have been involved in trainings or involved in Madrid, but the new feature that we have in Madrid is that basically if you have a CI class manager, we can create our own knowledge base for configuration. Some companies, they are doing it. Some others, they are just based on the line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to leave that one open due to the needs that I'm going to do. Give me just a minute. I think it didn't copy. All right, thanks. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open a knowledge, right? I'm going to open knowledge management. So this will be part of our first workshop that we are going to do. So remember that we have the module here for knowledge. And we were really worried in other versions because once we touch bases in Service Portal, everybody was telling us, you know what? The main problem is that we have to fulfill or include everything as a mess. So everything as a mess means I cannot separate things because I have to include one knowledge base only. Right? So if you go to the homepage and if you have a lot or you have tons of knowledge bases, then somebody will tell you, Houston, we have a problem, right? Basically in our portal, once we go to the portals, right? Once you go to a portal in the old school days, we only have one chance, right? And I just created a portal because this is what we are going to do in this session. Once you create a portal, the system was telling you which will be your knowledge. That's it. Nowadays in Madrid, you have the chance to include different portal search sources or knowledge bases. So what I'm going to do here, if you want to include, for example, a new knowledge base that you would like to create in here, you can go and you can start creating your own knowledge base for only related to CMDB, right? So you can go here, you can establish your knowledge base, and you can take out that this will be your global CMDB knowledge base, right? Or KB. Who will be the owner? Anybody that is related to the system. So I have inside my instance, if you don't know, basically when you create a knowledge structure, knowledge base, the owner will be the manager or will include the knowledge manager role. And with this one, you will have the possibility to include other ones that you can create through, right? Basically, I'm just including a knowledge base to show you how we can do it in. And basically now we have a knowledge base for the CMDB, right? So one of the cool things is that even if you would like to give feedback around IT or applications, business services, or something that it's totally outside of your position, however, you would like to create another page or a portal that relates upon CMDB, you can do it. One of the cool things is that here you can start creating their relation, and this is one of the good things that we are now just like evolving through, is that here some people, they are making a good chance to classify objects related to the CI class, right? So for example, one of the cool things is that if you have configuration items and you know that basically you would like to just segregate information upon the system needs, for example, you want to segregate as a category anything that goes for hardware, right? And then inside hardware, you will have, for example, servers, computers, or any other kind of info. Then you can create your own type of category there inside. So some companies, they do this because they have tons of information and they have tons of servers and tons of devices that are recognized as configuration items. So basically, one of the good things is that once you go there, you have the chance to go inside, and you have the chance to relate your knowledge management upon your categories related to the CI class distribution. All right. So this is a best practice. Not all companies do this. Not all companies are worried about. However, some companies, they do this related to what we are going to watch and work in a minute. That's why I'm telling you that we are doing today, not theory, but we are going to do a lot of workshop and a lot of stuff that we are going to do, a lot of activities. So basically, you start creating categories. Let's suppose I'm going to create a category that will be servers, all right? And inside servers, I can include anything related upon the system. For example, Unix or Windows or virtual machines, whatever I can consider, right? Then if I need, I can start including, or I can include my knowledge articles upon this category, right? The main idea of creating a big structure upon CMDB is that even with that one, you can come in, and if you need more than one, you can include it in here, for example, right? This is a really good choice that you can include it upon here. So if we start checking which will be the chance or the options that we have here, we'll have the chance to include another one, right? Example, if we go here, we can go to include global, and basically we'll go to the portal that we are going to include it, right? To the CMDB portal. So at this point, basically what we are doing, it's including all the information, all the knowledge that we are going to collect for these devices, right? For all these devices upon the system in only one knowledge base. So it's not going to be related to other matter or other structure inside the system. Basically, why we do this, as I'm telling you, one thing will be resolution and another thing will be configuration, right? Some details that you can include here will be related to the mapping, topology, IPs, related to the structure, related to the versions, related to the compatibility, and many other details that you have related to some devices, right? Another thing that you can include here. In the previous session, we talked about that when we work with configuration management and we work with the CMDB, sometimes you need to work with something we call the assignment rules, right? The assignment rules basically are kind of possibilities that we have as an automatic response based upon the needs, right? And related to any of the tables that are or they belong to the ITSM side, we can assign assignment group or assign to. But the base core here is not only knowing that we can just place, once we include conditions, the assignment process, but also we can create, because remember that in the previous session, if you were part of that, we have something that we are controlling as part of the tiers, right? And when we come inside here and we start making that part and we start storing or retrieving data, basically we need to know that the support group has a chance to get that info. And once we create the assignment group, once we create an assignment group here, we don't need to only place the assignment group or the assign to. Remember that I was giving you the chance to go to the form layout. And since we work with the CMDB, and if you include it here as an element, or you bring it up too, you can come inside here as a reference field. You can bring the table from the CMDB CI. You can bring let's talk about configuration item because it's going to be really long this way. So you go to configuration item, and once you start searching for configuration item, you will have the chance to go through with CI relation. That will be. This is not the CI relationship. Be really careful. This is a field that I'm including through. And basically the field that I'm including, it's to talk about the CI relation, right? So check that inside here. I'm just including that field, right? And I have the chance to know that inside this assignment rule, I have the possibility to control with that exactly element that we are talking about, for example, Oracle, or we are talking about any element. This belongs to exactly process that we can make a walkthrough once we talk about this element. And then also one of the cool things is that we can include that specific reference field included in the sections that will be assigned to. So one of the cool things is that in the previous webcasts that we did, we were including kind of inside the assign to. We came up here and we have the CI relation. One of the cool things is that we can make that walk-in process to go through, and we can bring other different than the assign to or assignment group, that is group and user, and we can bring the supported ones that will be escalation teams. Right, in terms of this, if we go to retrieve and if we go to update or work out with the system itself, we need technical configuration view. One of the technical configuration views is who is responsible outside of the service desk and who will be capable to fix it, work it out, or give a specific resolution if needed, depending on tiering, right? So remember that this basically are reference fields that we go or we work through. However, the CMDB itself has a reference field relation upon who will be the group that will be supporting the infrastructure and who will be the one assigned for it. So if you want to include both, in this case scenario, you can include both, right? Example for user and for group. Then you can organize. So this will be user or support group and support by. So in this case, the scenario, once you work with a CI, any CI that you are creating here, and you have the chance that you relate it up to, and you know that that element it's related to, you can start creating the relation process inside the assignment rule. Another way will be the brand new feature that some companies are including will be the agent intelligence, right? So basically, agent intelligence does this not as a manual feature that I'm doing it, but they do it with automatic process that will be making the categorization, making the process for prioritization, and then they are making all machine learning to include all the same process. If you want to learn a little bit more, go to docs.servicenow.com to check assignment rules or go through to check basically agent intelligence. You can go through and identify that inside Doc Service Now, select the release, in this case Madrid, and then you can go through the Now platform capabilities structure section. So we discussed this, and this is really important because this gives you the chance to know when somebody is talking about the CI and not even included here, but given the conditions, you will have the chance to relate that will be, or even who will be assigned in the services or who will be the supported group to be included, right? Meaning of this, all right, or the importance or the relevant side of this is that we were discussing knowledge, right? And here, if we have this relation upon the assignment rule, the main idea is that that support group, when they go throughout on any of the ITSM records that we are going to watch and see, is that basically they have the possibility to go to the contextual research or the search results that we already know that we have inside the ITSM modules, right? And basically, we are going to include some articles that can give previous importance or can give relevant information for them related to the CMDB. Sometimes people is related upon the needs, and some people it's not kind of related to how we can find information if we don't want to go across any other matter. So the main idea is that we don't need to go or Google it, and sometimes we can give manuals or we can give the info for any support group or any assigned to person inside the CIs related to that record that they created, even if it's an incident, problem change, or anything, right? So with that feature that we were discussing through, right, and that we have right now with that knowledge base that you can include as many knowledge bases as you need inside a portal, well, basically you can create your own portal. And then one of the cool things, not only including knowledge, not only including the assignment rule, will be knowing that you can have the process to go to the CI class manager and identify how they work, right? We have the knowledge to know that once we have the CI relationship type, that is our one of the main tables that we work through, we have the chance to know how they relate each other, right? So for example, basically we know that maybe a business application is hosted on a server, and this server is connected across a database, and that database belongs to, right? So when we do that, we can try to check kind of info, right? Basically, we can go around here, right? And inside the system, we can jump into, right? Inside the module here. And we can go through any of those elements. For example, let's select a server, right? Let's go to maybe any Linux inside this list. And then let's suppose that we go to this one, right? Everybody knows that here we have the CI attributes, and then we have the configuration plus the results of relations, right? However, if we are not only working with the relations or dependency views, right? If we are not only related to this dependency view, and for example, we want to just check this and not include it inside a form, we can bring this dependency view, right? We can bring this dependency view. We can bring this dependency view upon the system. How we do it? Let's do this, right? Let's do this. If we take this out and we bring, for example, from the portal itself, right? As I'm telling you, I'm going to create a new tab. I'm going to bring this. I'm going to take out this. And basically what we are doing, it's accessing the info. Then you have the possibility to search any CI here. So you don't need to go to the same device. You don't need to go here to check the dependency views. But basically what we can create here is with this link, we can create some kind of information constant that we can include to search or grab inside the portal with the CMDB query builder. And that's what we are going to do inside this workshop. So everybody knows how the system works inside the platform and the configuration system, how it's related to. However, nobody has been related to create all the info that we have here inside configuration, right? Or all this information that we can bring it, and we can just create one big knowledge base that could be related inside a portal, and we can build up queries inside the system. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to include inside a service portal the most relevant and important information that we have the chance to offer through, and this will be the portal, right? So for some of you, once we talk about CMDB, everybody thinks, all right, it's on the platform, I have to go there, or even I have to work with discovery, I have to work with a mid server, and I have to integrate, or I have to make imports. Why if we don't look not only to data? Why if we want to just think on the possibilities and we want to create something that can be controlled, not only on the platform, that we can give a good presentation layer to any of the CMDB process owner or managers that are related to this kind of matter. One of the other important things is related, as I was telling you, upon the knowledge, right? The knowledge processing layer. Basically, we need to have a big, simple way to query and make analysis. Time makes money, and this is one of the things that I learned from this knowledge. Everybody is not even worried about platform features or including new inputs up around ServiceNow. They are worried because they need to make all the things that ServiceNow offers in a quick and a simple manner. So basically, if I can join query and analysis, if I can join reporting, if I can join KPIs and performance analytics or metrics or breakdowns, and I can create that part as a modeling structure, and I can show you all those relations, I can show you a dashboard, and I can give you a lot of profit in one only page or one only system that you can monitor everywhere. That will be part of the portal that we are going to do, right? Basically, maybe we will have another session that we are going to show you just a big overview of how we can create a portal or a deep dive basis. And basically, we need to check out what is our customer expecting through, right? Remember that these sessions are not only to know about what is a CMDB and how they work through, but also how you can make best practices to work with. So one of the important part will be how you can make a leverage to make the information integration layer. And we already know that we have CMDB, and the CMDB will contain CIs, and those CIs will contain attributes, and these attributes will contain a lot of information. However, all that info is the relevant information that I need to work with, or do I need a specific information that I can go inside of the system? Basically, when we talk about that we are going to do an integrated asset and configuration information, is that we are going to work with the most important information of all the CIs, and we need to watch that inside one only system or one only portal, right? So basically, if we talk about how we can offer or what we offer with the infrastructure, will be part of the service portfolio. How we place it up or how we can control that one will be the service package side. How we can verify, modify, or integrate with other systems, and how we can make or avoid outages and disruptions will be part of the service change. And how this performs or gives a better modeling, gives coverage for KPIs, and you can see reporting and process will be part of the service release when you have the chance to see metrics and the operation inside. If we start watching all this together, we get a data integration that basically what you do is basically identifying how the CMDB could go around and how the CMDB can integrate with many other modules or many other features that you have inside ServiceNow. So one of the things that you need to worry or you need to just think about is, right, we have been discussing in this webcast that CMDBs are really kind of hot topic. It's a big head or big frame that we need to look up, and it's really important inside the system. So basically, if you start checking this slide, you will see that CMDB connects with everything. How we can obtain a better perspective if we don't want to go through a module or we don't want to go through different steps to grab all these relations upon, and we would like to include them in one only structure. Basically, we can do what I'm telling you, that it's related the process to a service portal mapping, and that service portal will give you the chance to collect all this information together. So if you have the chance to grab discovery, service mapping, or maybe an integration, will be amazing, right? And then finally, what you have to do is basically work with identification and reconciliation, and you can place this inside a CMDB core portal, and you can include it there, right? However, one of the other things that you need to be worried about is how you are going to work with the CMDB CI tables, including the knowledge that I was telling you before. So you are now creating a knowledge base that will contain all the info. Some people were asking me at knowledge, why do we create a big knowledge base only for CMDB? What is the reason? Basically, the reason means that you can include there all the structure that you need to go and troubleshoot the systems, and you can separate and you can make your own user criteria for these people to be related inside the process. So for example, if we make a knowledge base only for configuration, this belongs to people that will be working inside service desk, escalation support team, subject matter experts, or anyone that is related to the performance and optimization of the process related to the continuous service improvement that is related to the infrastructure that that company has or the company contains in. One of the most important things is to know how we are going to work in. Basically, we need to verify which data it's coming into the system, how we are going to process that data, and where it's going to be replicated or where it's going to be shown. This, if you check here, has a lot of meanings, right? We have been talking about CI class manager. So basically, in the CI class manager, you can come inside here and create your own tables, right? If you do this, right? So you go here and you create your own hierarchy as you wish. You start from CI, that will be your configuration items, and then you start segregating if it's software, hardware, servers, or any kind of element that you would like to go through. Remember that a CI will be tangible or intangible depending on the needs, and basically that's related to each company that they define how they are going to build up this system. This means that if you are doing it manually, you have to create the classes in here, right? If you are doing with discovery, you don't need to create the classes. The classes will start prompting out remotely once discovery makes the segregation and makes the reconciliation and the process around the system. Basically, service mapping does kind of the same behavior, but related to the structure up top to bottom side. So when we talk about that, we are going to include a lot of infrastructure. We need to be sure how we are going to control this and how we are going to promote this. And then is when we talk about the dashboard, right? So if we would like to have the CI class manager, the health dashboard, those dependency views, if we would like to just verify and check the query and check all the KPIs around the system, this data output cannot be placed in one only structure. That means that I can have a portal. So I can have my discovery going through, I can have my service mapping, I can have my manual inputs, and I can have my integrations. However, one of the other things that I can do is this engine process can be enclosed to the platform. However, what we always need to do, or we always need to watch for the people that is related to CMDB, is not the process. The process is behind backdoors, but they need to see is all this data out inside one only place. And that's what we are going to do. Basically, the system itself is that we are going to work with, right? So one of the cool things working inside ServiceNow is that, as I'm always telling to people, you don't need to belong in only one place, the information, right? So I can have my knowledge, and then I can create my structure for my portal, right? So as I was telling you, we are going to make a workshop here to create a portal. Basically, what I did was just creating a portal here from the system. If you have maybe an idea, service portal is basically a easy and simple way to grab information as a new page or website. And in the portal, you will have all the information that you would like to see around. So in this one, we have already created, the homepage will be indexed. However, I'm going to try to create a new page. I'm not going to explain the whole details around how Service Portal works, but basically Service Portal is front end development. And in this kind of matter, sometimes you don't need coding, right? This is one of the cool things. If you have the close relation, and what we are going to do is basically taking the links of the features that we are going to include related to the data out that we are going to include here. So if we have a dashboard, we can include here the URL of that dashboard inside a widget. If we have the CI class manager and you need to include it, or you need to enclose it in a URL, you can bring it up too. If you need the dependency view, you can bring it up. If you need the query builder or any kind of matter. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a portal where you can start selecting options, or you can start clicking by, and then you can go to a new web page and you can select these options as a way of getting this information enclosed to the system, right? So basically a portal, right? If you watch a portal, this is a portal, right? And the portal has knowledge, has catalogs, has all this info, has a menu. And then you have a search box. This search box gives you the chance to check not even only knowledge, gives you the chance to check any information around, as you can check CIs, right? Or you can check information around the system. If we talk about searching, one of the cool things to search is that we can go through and we can identify that we can create, or we can copy this kind of info, or we can create this kind of page depending on our needs, right? So that will be one of the things that I'm going to do. And basically what you can go through, it's go to the pages, right? And inside the page editor, we have something that is the index, right? And this one, it's the page that we are working through, right? So if you see here, they are just showing you the sketch of how the page is working through, right? So you have a page, then it's telling you how we can help. It's basically in a container. And I'm going to show you what does belong to, right? For the ones that are not quite related. So basically, this is one of the designs that they already built in, and I'm just following that guide. However, you can create your own way inside the designer. And for example, what I can do here is I can create a new page for the CMDB if I want to. So one of the things is going to be the CMDB page, right? Or the CMDB main, right? Then with this page, we can go inside here, and then we can define, or we can decide how we are going to distribute the info, right? So in this case, the scenario, we are distributing here a container. And basically, once we talk about containers, is the space gaps that we have here. Service Portal uses something that we call as a framework that it's related to the Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is dividing into 12 strips or columns, the main frame. And then it starts making you the responsive design to collapse and stretch out the information, right? So depending those, you will have different previews, and you will have the chance to start watching not only the CMDB, and you don't need to go directly to the web services. However, this also gives the capability, and most of the people that we discuss inside knowledge is, you know what? If we have to go to CMDB, and maybe I'm traveling, or maybe I need to go around, and one of the things is that nowadays, remember that ServiceNow has built a new mobility application in mobile studio. So why we don't include mobile here, or why we don't provide that everybody can jump into the portal using your tablet, using your cell phone. They don't need to go to the laptop and check all the info. That will be a good thing, because anybody has been working CMDB without a laptop. That's basically one of the things. So one of the cool things is to include inside a portal all those needs, or all those features that we can control, basically on a phone, a tablet, or even on the laptop, but not related to the platform itself. So one of the cool things is going through, jumping into, right, and creating scenarios that you can go through, right? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this container. I'm going to create some other options here to show you. So I'm going to create this kind of widgets to show you how we can relate the dependency, how we can relate the CMDB query builder, and then how we can relate, for example, if you want to get the CI class manager. The CI class manager, if you check through here, is a wizard that you can go through. And basically, if we want to edit this module, we have the chance to go through this module, basically going through and accessing as well from a widget. If we want to invoke, we can do it. Basically, one of the things that we need to do is to know the link type of this module, right? And basically, we need to go through this, right? This will be the UR arguments that we are going to do. So remember that the slide that I was showing you, it's let's put all together so everybody knows what you are working with, right? CI class manager, health dashboard, dependency views, query builder, CMDBs, right? Benchmark. So if we go back right here, now we can close this. And now with that page, we can go to the page of that we are creating through, and then we can start including widgets. One of the widgets that I'm going to work with will be the homepage search. And even if you want to, you can go through here, homepage search. And then I'm going to modify that homepage search in a minute, right? Then we are going to include some icon link menus here. And this will be the ones that I'm going to use to call those features that I'm working with, right? So basically here, what I'm going to do is working, right? And including this inside the scenario. So if you check the preview, right? Basically what we are doing is how can we help? And then we have some widgets that I'm going to include here, right? That will be the process. So I would like to include, first of all, inside an icon link, this process, right? The CI model. I would like to go through and grab this inside my page. So I can come inside here. I can go to make the icon link. I can grab it, right? Or I can take it out. And I can bring, for example, a page if I want to. Or even if I don't want a page, I can go and include another structure here of the system. One of this will be the glyph that I'm going to do, or I can work with. So you will have a tons of info here. So you can start selecting all of those. For example, I'm going to leave the glyph. And here will be the way that you can bring a page here inside your system, or that you can bring here a URL, right? So it's not depending on the structure that you are working through, right? So this will be the CI class manager style. So now you don't need to go to the platform itself to go and jump to the CI class manager, right? So check all the CI distribution right here. Now you have the way to go through, right, and create your connection upon the system, right? Now you have the CI class manager, and this will be one of the ways that you can go without going to the platform. You will have the same way to go to the CI class manager and start making the hierarchy, right? Then the other one was to include other outputs, right? Other outputs rather than, or others that we can include. That will be health dashboards, dependency views, query builder. So we are going to include those both. And one of the good things is that I'm going to tell you how we can work with the CMDB query builder in a minute. So then basically what we do is we go and we edit, and then basically we can create here that this one will be another URL, right? And this goes and belongs to this side, right? Going to the CMDB navigation here. So we go up here, and basically this will be check-in relations. Sorry, this will be dependency view. Checking CI relations. There you go. Which one will be my glyph? Anyone that I want to go through, right? It depends on all the connections. And then finally, I have my last one that will be the CMDB query builder, right? So another one here. Now I can close this one. And now I have the CMDB query builder. For some of you that are maybe not familiar to CMDB query builder is a really, really, really useful tool that we are just evolving right now for some users. And one of the good things that you can go inside here, right, will be that you can jump into the system, right, and you can start querying or checking the information upon the needs, right? And one of the good things is that inside the CMDB query builder is that you can go and you can start relating several options for the info that you're working through. So if you want to go through, or if you want to learn a little bit more on how we can create relations upon the system, or how we can include here, we can go with this. Balaji, this is an abstract question and this may not be the right place. However, posting here, hoping I get an answer. I'm beginning to, with respect of CMDB, is there any articles to begin from? Yes, sir. We do have, let me tell you here, we do have a 101 article. So this will be the 101 article for everybody if you need to just start or begin. And the other one I do recommend will be, please jump on the process to download this book. This is a really good way to start learning, right? And knowing how will be the process to identify CMDB and CIs, all right? So this has been already posted inside the chat. So please check the chat for any comments. And with this two, I think you will be good to go and move ahead with the main concern or main basis around 101 or introduction basics to CMDB, all right? That's what you can do. So the other one will be, as I was telling you, working with the structure 4. Let me see if I did place. Yep, there you go. So how you work with CMDB query builder? What's the idea? Basically, we have already been talking about CI class manager, right? That we have classes, and one of the things that you can do is relate, depending on your needs, a CMDB query process. For example, I'm going to do something kind of server example, right? So one of the things that you can go through is check that the CI class manager is all here, right? Basically, it's the same example. So if you go through here, we have the CI hierarchy. And basically, if we go to the CMD query builder, we have the same scenario here. However, basically, what we are going to do is make relations upon needs, and then we can establish certain scenarios or certain attributes that we can work with. So one of the things is that I can go through server. For example, I can go through the servers. Then I can go through and search servers. And let's suppose I'm going to take any one of those. So server, here we go. This will be, where are the Linux ones? There you go. So I'm going to take a Linux server. I'm going to drag and drop it here. And basically, the main idea is that you can create a query type. So you can make a relation, or you can query what's the information that you can type in, right? You can also, related to the section, you can take out relevant information, or you can select, you can filter out which will be the elements that you're going to work with, right? In here, you will have another process that will be how you are going to include, or how you are going to make the query builder relation. So one of the good things that you can do is you can include columns here, for example, and this will be a scenario that you can search, for example, information. One of the good things is that you can, for example, search for which will be the assignment group, right? Or you can search any of the information that is related to the CI itself. However, another thing that you need to go through, or you need to bring through, it's, let's bring another device, right? Let's bring, for example, a computer, right? Let's bring a computer, and this is how you are going to make something that will work really, really in an easy way, right? So in this case scenario, I'm going to close the filter. Right ahead, I have some info, and then basically what I can do, or I can bring through, I can bring any other element if I want to. For example, let's suppose that this one works, this Linux server works with kind of information from the database itself. So when you have this kind of relation, right, you can query depending the needs of these elements, right? So you can establish a relation upon them, included that you can see which will be the relationship type without going to the CMDB CI relations. And then here you will have the chance to go through, and then you can add any relationship type if you want to. For example, if you want to include anyone, you can go inside here. Or even if there are no relations, for example, you can just leave it that way, right? There are no relations. However, we can just bring up to that some of the servers, they may contain information from this database, right? If this is not the way that you would like to work with, you can go through any of this and you can establish which will be the way. Some ways was that in the old days, you have to go to the CI relations, right? So you have to go here, then you have to go here, or you have to go to the suggested relationships. This was the way that you do it in the old good days, right? Now, CMDB Query Builder gives you the chance to make not only relations, but also these relations could be graphical, and related to the dependency view gives you another perspective on how you can work with different CIs and how you can interact with those at the same time, all right? So this gives you the chance to go through, create, or include, for example, add a related item here. So you can, for example, relate here this way. And once you have here this relation, now you can go through and include or see the details that you can bring through, right? So this is really cool because you can also, as I was telling you, include all the info together. And this is really simple. And this is really, really easy going if we go, right, to the page designer here. And one of the cool things is that you can establish, or you can create your own information inside the system, right? So for example, this is CMDB configuration start point. So here you can search all the things you need, right? For example, so then you can start searching all the articles. And basically one of the good things is that you can go through inside the page right here. And then with this page, you can start, just for example, searching here. I'm going to do the background of this one. I'm going to upload a page. I already have that downloaded from the system. And I already have that one here. Give me just a minute. I got that one. Give me just a minute. There you go. So this is basically what you can do here. Let's upload in the picture, right? Let's go through, click save. There you go. All right, it's not matching the content. Give me just a minute. The container background. Can I include another one? Can I include this one? There you go. Yep. So there you go, that you can start including different elements here. And the last picture, or the last part that I'm going to do to end this part, if we talk about that, we would like to go through and we would like to relate information upon, for example, how we can create or how we can include information in our mainframe or the system itself, is that we can go and we can make a preview for this. So now we have the CMDB main page. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish here for my portal, right? And then now I can do what I can do right here. Since I already have the page here, I can save this page. And then basically what I can do here, it's inside the portal, right? I can change this. And then I can include CMDB main, right? And I'm going to include it this way and check what I'm going to do here, right? I'm going to close the CMDB query builder. Then I'm going to reload this. Right, it didn't go through. My apologies, it didn't go through. There you go. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's go through. Give me just a minute. There you go. Let's take it out. There you go. Now we have our page once again designed, and check that here, even if you want to, you can establish, or remember that we have already included our knowledge base. And even here, if we have manual guidance, procedures, relations, step-by-step guidance, know-how, how-to, or anything that we would like to work with, you can get it into the CMDB portal, and you are not using any kind of the platform modules. You don't need to go to the configuration module itself. So basically, this helps a lot, because this gives to all the users a way to go through, and they can go inside here without any need to go around the system. So you can go back, right? You go back to the portal, and you can also open it in a proper way. So that's what we are trying to do, to avoid, right, that you go through any other chance. For example, if you do this, you can open this in a new tab, right? And you will have the dependency view. You can go through and you can open this in another way. And here as well, you can open the CI class manager. So check that here, I'm not depending, or I don't need to work with the platform itself. And I'm collecting all the scenarios that I would like to see in one placeholder, right? That will be my portal, right? So the data out that I'm working with, and even other things that I can include, will be the KPIs, dashboards, reports, and many other things that I can include, will be in one placeholder. And that's one of the cool things that you need to work with, related to the impact of poor quality data. Sometimes you need to be sure on what you are collecting for incident, problem, change, asset, and the organization. These are one of the attributes that we do check, or we have been checking through Knowledge 19. And this is one of the good ways that you can do it, or you can collect info, right? So if you don't want to just grab or go through the platform itself, or you don't want to provide to any other one, or you would like to just give an access to people inside the system, this will be the way, all right? This will be the way around the corner, so they can go through, check info, check all the system itself, and work around your own CMDB without going to the platform. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Any questions around the webinar?
No, I think you got the one already earlier. So this has been great. Again, I've already posted the link that if you want to watch again and have more questions to post, we have the link for the community page of this event today. And we hopefully that you'll share it with your friends and colleagues. And then you can, again, always post questions for Felipe to answer on the community. So thank you again for joining us today.